So this is the way it looks. So it's still quite rough and doesn't look like a proper exhibition space. So the space was a very long, narrow, 2-meter-high, wet, cold, unattractive bunker surrounded with bomb-proof concrete. And all the projects would be allocated with one space in there. This is a view from the top of the site. So we are, well, I can't jump up there, but we are underneath that building very much. So the water level is actually the height of the ceiling of the bunker. And I just show you this because this is a very nice project in Berlin, and I hope if you ever come to Berlin, you have to visit this floating swimming pool, which is really absolutely fascinating. You have a view onto the Alexander Tower, and it's worth coming just for that. So the video is shown on a projection screen marking the end of a dark and narrow space in that bunker. And suddenly a body appears from the bunker ceiling who penetrates deep into the trampoline's net and is then catapulted through the thickness concrete ceiling and far beyond. So I talk about the space you don't see, about the space above the space of the bunker. I will quote of the catalogue text. It seems the figure he develops are inspired by the impermeability of the space, the almost unbearable oppressive atmosphere inherent in the concept of the bunker as shelter and hiding place is emphasized by the independence of the jumper's movement. Each time the body penetrates the concrete ceiling, he appears to achieve the impossible feat of transcending the laws of physics. What remains behind are the slow motion reverberations of the trampoline net trapped in the bunker until the next jump follows. So in this project, the sound is quite important. You would hear it from far away, and then you wouldn't know what the sound is like, what the sound was made of, and what the sound would carry, and get closer and see the project. So I show you film. Actually, Mikhail Gorbachev came to visit the exhibition, which was really nice. The next project is called Gude. It's a project I show you because I want to show you the way I approach my projects, and I can show it quite well with this one. Here I was asked by the State Museum of Berlin, the one which was before the industrial shed. They changed the place into a museum, which is this now. And they like the trampolinist very much, so they asked me, could you please think of an installation for our new opening? But we don't have a site for you. You have to propose first both a film and a site within the museum. So I got all the plans and sections and built more or less the whole museum as a model. And I use a lot of I use models a lot when I perceive a project. And this is the film which is called Gude because it's cut together of a huge amount of little clips of people jumping from these, off these high things into the water. I don't know how you call them, jumping boards or diving boards. That's it. Thank you. And it takes place in Barcelona in the very nice Olympic swimming pool. So I called it Gude because of that, but also Gaudi is in Bavarian slang is having fun. So that's why it's called that. And so I use the models to present the ideas to the panel, to the jury. And here I would propose the first position for it in the central staircase. And I would make models and then put the film into the models and see if it works, see how the speed works, see how size works. It's the only way really for me to test projects. So I present another place for it right at the entrance, and so people would come in and immediately see that turning Gude. That's from the back of that tall and narrow space. And that's from the balcony. They're a bit uptight, so in the end they decided not to have any video in their museum. I think they still don't have any video work because they can't deal with a light system. They can't dim the light system, so to have video work, which is a bit funny, so I haven't heard from them ever since. This project has not been shown. It's a project which exists as a video, and I'm waiting for the space to show it. It's called Lista, and Lista means, in English, means chandelier. And here the observer becomes part of an invisible incident of some magic, unexplainable force which makes a chandelier move. I've always been quite fascinated by these big things and these big, heavy and precious chandeliers hanging in these great big places. And one always thinks what happens if they come down, which obviously only happens in movies. And so I thought that they have this capacity of making a really nice clinking sound, and of course, and the way they move is also could be really nice. So I thought it would be really nice to try that. So I go to the Berlin, to the Babelsberg film studios, which is just outside Berlin, to collect some chandeliers with a big van in a very big structure because they're very fragile, and put it up in my studio and make it turn. And the way I put it up is so that I would position it quite high up in the space and put a camera quite low down, so I would have a perspectival view onto the chandelier, so that when later I install it, you would have the perspectival view onto it hanging quite up in the space. And this is a little animation of how it could be, but it might be completely different. So they are slightly moving, and without noticing, their rotation gets faster and faster. The silence of the space is displaced by the slowly increasing clinking of the glass pieces. The gentle swing of the chandeliers changes into a wide spin. It seems that the both fragile and very heavy chandeliers threaten to fall down, the glass to shatter into pieces. So I won't tell you what's going to happen next. We have to wait until